Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the Engine Builder Show. On today's episode, our topic will be how to quickly find the best business ideas. If you like the sound of that, as always, take some notes. We appreciate also if you ask some questions, but most importantly, enjoy the show. Good morning, everybody.
There was always a ton to learn. Good morning, everyone. Hope you're having an amazing day. And as always, thank you so much for taking time to tune in. We appreciate you, and I look forward to answering any questions you have. So definitely drop those down below, and we can get those answered either here in the comments, or we can do a future episode about whatever your question is. So one of the things that over the years I've realized is that as entrepreneurs and even as entrepreneurs, which I may get into a little bit, those that think they're entrepreneurs, we all have tons and tons of ideas, which are great. It's good to have that inspiration. It's good to have those ideas. But unless we have a process and a way to actually figure out which ideas are worth working on, we can quickly stall ourselves out because we're spreading ourselves too thin, and we're not able to, be consistent and effective in delivering actual results and things that actually work. And so what I'm going to share with you is a process that I found that's very effective in determining what the best business ideas are. This is both from practical experience because I've done this myself. I've also over the years read of very similar processes with really successful founders and entrepreneurs like Jeff Bezos from Amazon uses part of what I'm going to share here, and I'll share their twist on it. And I've just seen in many different really successful businesses, they have a process where they can figure out what the best business idea is. And so the first step that I would encourage you to do is just write a one pager on it, like maybe 1 or 2 pages, but on 1 to 2 pieces of paper, write out what the idea is and what the result that the end customer, the end user, the end client is going to get, so that you're really clear on that. In Amazon's company, they actually asked the person with the idea to write a press release about the idea and essentially in the press release, even before anything's been started, how and why it was successful and how it makes a positive impact for Amazon's customers. So that's a really great frame to kind of frame up your idea, because even if you're excited about it, it may not actually be a good idea. And so doing that first step of just, again, writing out kind of like the 1 or 2 pager of here's the idea, here's how it's going to solve the customer's problems, and here's how they're going to feel as they go through this process. When you start there, you can either go, great, this is a good idea, I can see how this has merit and I'm going to make it happen, or I thought that idea was cool, but it doesn't actually apply to our customers, or I don't know how I'm going to get them a good result that matters to them, or maybe that I could get a result, but they wouldn't feel very good going through the process, so they're probably not going to try it. So drafting that first is what's key. Because then you've objectified and kind of gotten out of your head into an objective state on paper of what the idea would look like. So then if it passes that step, then the next step, or one of the next steps that's been effective for me, is to beta test the idea. So if I have an idea, then I'll say, hey, here's my idea, I wrote it out, here's the concept, and I will start to talk to people in my audience and even people I haven't met before. I'll say, hey, I have this new beta product coming out. It's new, so it's rough, but here's the result that it's going to get you. And I'm curious if you're interested. What are your thoughts? And I get feedback. And some people will be like, oh, I absolutely love that, I want to be a part of it. Other people will say, this is a terrible idea, or I wouldn't use it, or not. They won't even respond, or they're not interested. That's a good indicator too. And so if I talk to 10 or 20 or 30, like I want it to be multiple people, and I'm getting a lot of positive responses, then I know that I'm headed in the right direction. If everybody, placates me and says, oh, yeah, that's a good idea, but I'm not interested, or they just say, if they're honest enough and say, I don't even know why you'd offer that, if you get a lot of negative feedback, you can just kill the idea there before it's even, off the ground. But when you do get a good feedback and people are interested, the real truth of if your idea is a good idea is if somebody's going to give you money for it. And so when I launch a beta, I'll say, hey, here's the concept. Normally this is going to be $1,000 a month for this service, But because it's in beta, you can get it for half off or whatever discount I come up with. And my ask for you, the reason I'm going to give you some, a discount is because I'm actually going to buy your feedback from you. So instead of charging you $1,000 a month, I'm going to charge you $500 a month, but I'm going to ask you to be really candid and upfront with all your feedback. I'm going to ask you to tell me what's working, what's not working. And this is a big part what I'm going to say here about running in a successful beta. If for any reason you're not happy with it, I'm going to give you your money back. I put that in a lot of my betas because then they're completely safe to try it and buy it and work with me. But if it's not a good fit, I'm going to give them their money back. And that not only holds me accountable to be careful about what I offer, but it allows them the safety to try something brand new that hasn't been done before. So when you launch it that way, then you can gather feedback as you go throughout the process. And you can see what works and you can adapt and change. That's exactly how I launched one of my first $1 million products. I launched at a really great discounted price. I got feedback as we went, and it built out and ultimately became a really successful project. I've also launched plenty of things that way, and it just didn't take off. And I was able to say, didn't work out. Here's your money back. Or I didn't even get to the stage of asking people for money because I just didn't get good feedback. But going kind of through this progression allows you to let other people tell you and validate your ideas by giving feedback. And then if it's truly a good idea, people will pay you for it. If nobody's paid you for idea, your idea is not worth anything yet, in my experience and opinion. And the last thing I'll say, kind of like how to quickly find, the best business ideas is, like I said, you do start with that one page or like that press release or that concept of what result they're going to get. You can beta test it with money back guarantees. So if somebody pays you, you're moving forward and it's a good idea. And you can gather feedback through the process. But also just realize you're probably going to be scared when you launch. That's okay. You'll be nervous. If you're normal, or if you're like me anyway, maybe I'm not normal. I'm nervous when I launch new things, and that's okay. But be brave and launch them anyway, and create that protection for your clients and customers that are trying it. Give them a way out, and make sure they end up whole if it's a brand new thing. But just go for it and try it, because if you don't get in the habit of just quickly kind of going through this process and testing your ideas and then launching them, you're ultimately not going to launch enough good ideas to be successful, and you'll just be stuck in your head. Entrepreneurs are the people that have ideas and think it's the greatest idea ever, but never actually execute and launch it. And you don't want to be an entrepreneur, and at least in my opinion, you want to be an entrepreneur that actually took action and tried things, failed, tried things, succeeded, and continued to try, and ultimately was able to create great results for the world around them. So that's a process that I go through kind of in a brief summary. If you are ever stuck or want help launching a business, we do help our clients launch businesses when they're willing to invest. And figure out, a effective and sustainable approach. And so if you need help on that front, definitely reach out. We'd be glad to help you. And I look forward to seeing you on the next episode.